Let me introduce you Aaron Casillas from BAF, Blockchain Acceleration Foundation. Welcome to Nox. We are very happy to have you here in our building in Nox Ayuntamiento. At Nox, we are pioneers on blockchain decentralized technology. We have many tokens on Stellar. And tell us, Aaron, about your business, your BAF, about your new projects. Please, what's the future in these technologies? Please tell us.
Thank you for coming, Aaron.
Thank you so much, everybody, for having me. My name is Aaron Casillas. I'm the president of the Blockchain Acceleration Foundation. Forgive me, my Spanish is very bad.
No problem.
But thank you for having me. So the Blockchain Acceleration Foundation works with university students to promote the blockchain technology. And the reason that we are successful is because we have found in academia, at the university level, that it's very, very conservative. And if the universities don't understand the technology, they won't promote it. So students, the future, are very, very hungry for opportunity. As you guys, as your companies are doing with the tokens, they want to learn this. That's the future of the world. The token.
I think it's the future.
Token. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much, but we work with university blockchain clubs to promote the technology, and we help students throughout the world.
Your project is a university, an academic project.
Yes, we work with Harvard and Stanford, the University of Texas, University of California, all of the clubs that, because you can't right now go to even at, for instance, at UNAM, we're talking with students in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
And what school or faculty?
What school? No, so we're not working with the school yet. We're working with the students because the students want to learn this technology. But when you're going to university, you want to get credit for your work, right? That's why you're going to university.
Sure.
So we help the students talk to the administration to create courses so that they can get credit. And so either computer science, economics, those are the big fields that have been receptive to this.
The credit is like a scholarship?
No, so when I say accredited, I mean when you go to university, you have a list of classes you can take, right? You take this class because you get credit towards your diploma, towards your degree. Right now, it's very, very difficult for students to take courses and get credit for a degree. You would think that it would be easier because that's the future, but it's not that's not the case. So we help the students talk to the administration to get classes to be accredited. Yes.
So the classes that students take are validated by the organization?
Yes, so we help do that. We create syllabus, the syllabus for the course, and we help connect the industry leaders to the students, to the administration. And this all takes coordination that we have expertise in at BAF.
For example, if I take a class in Stanford University, so I come back to Mexico, and I can make validated my studies in a university in Mexico.
So I think what you're talking about more is one of the projects that people are trying to figure out, which is the ability to validate your credentials and take them anywhere in the world. So those are more like NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Yeah, and that's literally what they're working on at ETH Mexico down at General Prim, at that neighborhood right now. That's what they're doing right now. That's very exciting.
O sea, lo que Aaron está diciendo es que tienen una organización que se dedica a hacer validaciones de las materias o diferentes cursos que puedas tomar en universidades a través de, principalmente, I imagine that universities in Mexico and Estados Unidos mainly, ¿no?
Yes, Buenos Aires. We're working with Buenos Aires,
Argentina.
in Europe, in Germany. We're trying to move to Africa too. Everybody wants this technology.
So the goal is aimed to the different countries or any country.
Yes, to help the students to get accredited courses. That's the main thing that we do. But other things that we do are like here in Mexico City, we create something called a hacker house, which is actually what's happening in your hacker house, which is happening in your building now in Nooks. Hacker house. So what they're doing, the team from Germany, they're programming. Yeah, upstairs. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. What do they hack?
So when they say hack, they mean just programming. And so they're currently programming a mobile application to allow you to check into events and be to know how many people come to your events, when they leave. And this is very important to sponsors. So for instance, our hackathon here is sponsored by Ripple, by Polygon, by Cello. The current, we have about 10 different sponsors.
So using blockchain technology guarantee that you can reach any part of the world and make transparent the movement.
Exactly.
So you can validate the studies any kind of student want to undertake for different, I don't know,
Yes.
courses, diplomas, or even master's degree.
Yes, and like you, carbon credits. Yeah. So tell us about your your project.
Okay, I was talking with Aaron, and I was telling him that we have a carbon credit project. We have launched that project 2 months ago, 3 months ago, but we were working hard during 1 year, approximately, more or less, and we could. We use also the advantages of blockchain technology, mainly because blockchain technology makes transparent, allows transparency in each movement, and can register a perfect tracking of the movements, and in that case, help completely to the confidence of the transaction. So we have that project here in Knox. Here we have that project.
That's very exciting. That's very exciting.
Bueno,
About your project. Talk us about your project, Aaron.
Yeah, no, so I'll give you another example of something that's happening here in Mexico. So another one of our sponsors is, those are some of our sponsors, yeah. But
Ethereum, yes. Okay.
another project that's sponsoring us is called Althea. And what they're doing, they come into places like in Mexico, and they've developed their own blockchain that is for telecommunications. So what you're able to do is right now in Mexico particularly, the telecommunications is very monopolized. It's in the hands of
Monopolized.
Very-
Telmex, America Mobile, something like that.
and this is a problem for consumers because
Exactly.
it's too expensive and
The services are very bad. I think, in
Exactly,
general.
and they were telling me that the service can be different from one block to another just because of this monopoly. So what Althea does is they come in, they have a central source of broadband, they beam the wireless signal to, for instance, here at Nooks, you could put a satellite on your roof, on your solar panels, and you can receive internet that way. That's not that special. But what is special is you can use the blockchain to, you in turn beam the signal to your neighbor, and through your router, you can get paid for that. So you don't do anything. You just receive the signal, send it, and all of that is tracked on the blockchain. So it's completely transparent, and you know, as the owner of this building, you know how much your neighbor is using of your broadband service. So what's happening here is it's the democratization of these infrastructure, and this is the future.
This is the future, I think. I think it's very interesting your opinion, because I think the most important enemies about these technologies are just in general, no, the states and the oligopolies, no, that they are very strong, no, very strong, and the regulators, no, for example, in the real estate industry and the energy industry, we are talking about just a moment from this problem, especially in Mexico. I think it's a world, global problem, but
Yes.
but Mexico in general is a very, unfortunately, very oligopolic, oligopolic and over-regulated, and for this reason, one of the most important, most richest persons of the world was Mexican.
Yes.
Not because they are very innovative, or not because they were very intelligent, smart people, or he offers a very good services and products. Not the reason that they are very rich is because, in general, because they have a oligopolic power, no? Because they are very near from all the government, blah blah blah, all the stories. And I think politically, talking about this problem, this technology could liberate the economy, but I think could liberate too the productive forces, no, in general. No? I think so. I think it's a change or paradigms, no? In this,
Absolutely. Yeah. And so if you think about what you're saying, the much like academia, telecom, politicians, all of these things are from the old world, from the old time. And they have the power and they don't want to let it go. And the blockchain technology represents the change that they are afraid of. So it's very similar to, if you can imagine, back when we were all riding around on horses, and the automobile comes up. And the way that the power structure is now, the politicians ask the people that breed horses how to regulate the new industry. Does that make sense?
yes, I know.
And so this is a conflict of interest,
Exactly.
a huge conflict of interest, because the people that breed horses, they don't want to see the automobile
Yes, exactly.
come up. That's exactly what's happening now. And the other problem is that politicians and regulators in general are very old. They're in the United States, the average age of a senator is like 75 years old. These people do not understand this technology.
Exactly.
They don't. And when you talk about what you're doing with the carbon credits and you're doing with the tokenization, these things all, we don't understand them because they are simultaneously property, they are securities like equity, they are commodities, they are money, currency, all in one, and it's programmable. So that's what they're doing downtown at General Prim. You can program the money, programming money. It's
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yes. Que lo comento un poquito en español. Pues sí, mucha gente, bueno, la tecnología blockchain pues te permite justamente democratizar lo que comenta Aaron, ¿no? Que te permite democratizar muchos procesos que ahorita pues son como monopolio de ciertos grupos, ¿no? Y en general, pues esa tecnología te permite, como todas las revoluciones industriales y económicas que se han dado, te permite dar un salto para que la gente tenga acceso en una forma mucho más masiva a mejores productos y a precios mucho más bajos, ¿no? General. I think many people thinks that the blockchain technology is only Bitcoin, and I think now is not the best times for the Bitcoin because the price of Bitcoin, obviously, everybody knows, is very low now. No, it's not the best time. But I think it's very important that all the people knows that the technology is is more than Bitcoin. No, it's a technology that could create. I think is my own definition about blockchain, but it permits, or it could be possible that create good relationships, business relationships strong relationships and open and transparent relationships, business relationships, and could create many projects that without blockchains was very expensive. No, I think it's you could create confidence. You could create more easy. No, I think the monopoly of the confidence that in the first was over the central banks about the money, for example, but now, for example, other institution very important in Mexico who creates confidence was public notaries, no? And I think for our system, for example, could substitute easily the confidence that the state, the government, with the public notaries create. Very expensive. Many people in Mexico and in the world could have a very good documentation or good escrituras that we say in Mexico, the properties, the legal property, because it's very expensive. It's very expensive and very complicated. And the technology permits, for example, that you could have a very strong legal, very strong document, very cheap, no? I
Yes.
think it's a completely revolution, because many people is the real estate is the only invest that many families have, and probably was especially in certain social classes is the most important investment that the families have. And in Mexico is not strong. You have no legal papers, for example.
Yes.
And the technology could revolutionize completely, you know,
Specifically, what you're
this
talking
process, no?
about in real estate, and specifically in Latin America, the easy thing to do with blockchain is what you're talking about with the notarios. In the United States, they call it.
That is very different.
Oh.
That the American or
Yes,
the
notary. No.
United States and Mexico. Mexico is very bad system of notary, the public notary. I think in United States it works better.
It does, but the concept is the transfer of title. So if you own a property and you sell it, how does the seller know that you really owned the property in the first place? As I understand it, it's very primitive in Latino America. But you're correct that in the United States it's very strong. But this is a great use case of blockchain, because you could make an NFT this property, and you could even fractionalize it, which I think you're doing. Yeah, and so it's a perfect use case for blockchain. So that's going to happen. There's no way that they're going to stop that. That's going to happen. Another example of how this technology revolutionizes an entire industry is, believe it or not, accounting. Yeah, so people really don't understand this, but the current system of accounting, it's a double entry ledger. So back in the old 500-600 years ago with the Medici, that's how they got rich. They were very smart and had the book where you put in a debit and a credit. That was a new technology back then. And for instance, the Vatican put all of their money with the Medici because this technology worked. Blockchain revolutionizes that. It's now a triple entry accounting system. So Bitcoin did triple entry. It's a debit, a credit, and an entry on the blockchain. It's very simple, but it's revolutionary.
Very simple. The idea is so simple. It's not complicated.
It's not complicated, but it's very difficult for most people to understand, because the blockchain is a distributed ledger that's maintained in the Bitcoin network by computers all around the world. So nobody can stop it. No government can stop it. No industry can stop it, because the miners validate that network. This is just an example, but yeah. But
I think that it's very important what we're saying, because, for example, in countries like Mexico or other economy in emergency economies, against what the most of the governments or the people, even the people, normal people, can think that these technologies are complicated or is going to be difficult to implement a project like this in Mexico or in Brazil or in Argentina. It's exactly the contrary. It's easier, and it will help a lot to solve many informality activities. I think that would help to solve a lot of problems related with informality, related with economy, with weak economy, and with democracy. I think it's much better, or it would be much better to implement these projects in Mexico or in third world countries than in the first world.
No, that's what we found. So I have been personally, pardon me, in this industry since 2013. So I've seen all of the progression of the different projects and the cycles that go through. And you're correct. In Latin America, the emerging economies, Africa, Southeast Asia, all of these people understand blockchain much better than the United States. That's reality. Currently, the people in Mexico have adopted blockchain for payments for remittances at a much higher rate than they have in the United States. Why? Because the need is not so great in the United States. Here, the need is very great. It's very expensive to send money from Mexico to United States or the other way. But blockchain, like the Stellar blockchain, very cheap. You can send the money very quickly, so within seconds, for a penny, a very small amount. So this completely transparent. I can send you $5 and I sent it, because why? You don't have to trust me. You can look on the blockchain and it is there.
La discusión que acabamos de tener ahorita básicamente lo que dice es que se puede pensar que en México o en países de economías emergentes sería como más difícil o más complicado implementar un proyecto de estos, cuando es justamente al revés. Es mucho más sencillo y ayuda muchísimo más a la vida diaria de las personas. O sea, si todo se pudiera hacer vía blockchain, ya no necesitaríamos de los notarios, así literalmente, así de radical es la situación. ¿Por qué? Porque en el blockchain queda perfectamente registrado todo y es un auditor incorruptible e inviolable, no puede recibir ninguna llamada de nadie y no lo puedes cambiar, ¿no? Entonces, básicamente es como estos proyectos son los que justamente ayudarían a que la gente pudiera salir más fácilmente de la pobreza, que pudiera haber más temas de democracia y un desarrollo muchísimo más a las libertades personales, ¿no? Que ese es ahorita, exacto, mucho más incluyente. Es ahorita la plática que acabamos más, un resumen de lo que acabamos de discutir ahorita más o menos.
What is Wall of Love, Aaron? That I saw in your presentation. Wall of Love. What is this? It's, I think, very interesting.
Members,
Wall of Love.
So that's just a cute way of saying who's involved with our project. It's just
Sorry?
a cute way of saying who's involved
okay.
with our project.
Perfect.
So sponsors and
Right. Yeah, right. I know. I understand. Yeah. Professional hacker. This Leo Stammer,
Yes,
a
sir.
professional hacker. Wow.
I'll give you an example of hacking that can help your business.
Anonymous hacker or something like that.
Yeah. So if you have a problem, like for instance, you with your project, with your token, if you run into a technical challenge or even a conceptual challenge, you can go to ETH Mexico and sponsor a project and have the best hackers in the world try to solve your problem for a very small price. These people are doing it because they love it. Yes.
Okay. So interesting. Our vision to take blockchain education to the next level. In which website the people who saw, who watch us, could found this information about the university that you lead?
So our website is the blockchain acceleration .org, and we have a very vibrant community that tackles problems. So we're problem solvers. What's big picture happening. So when we talk about the regulators and the politicians and all of that, they belong to the old economy. the students, it doesn't work for them. They are inheriting a world that doesn't work through the environment. There's so much going wrong with the environment, through economics, inflation, all of these things. They're inheriting a bad world, a world that doesn't work. So what makes me proud of the young people is that they're changing it. They, through this technology, they are saying, we reject your world, and this revolution is peaceful.
Peaceful, completely
It's
peaceful.
completely peaceful.
And I think it's not exactly political revolution. I think it's a decentralized revolution that avoid, in general, the political power. No? It's different. I think it's a very different revolution. It's more economic and social revolution. No? I think it's interesting.
Technological revolution.
Technology revolution.
And the students are leading that. So, like you're mentioning, uh, through this technology, the big culture is called aligning incentives. What does that mean? It means that two people from completely different backgrounds, because of the technology, can coexist peacefully and even progress. You do that because of the transparency. I've seen it time and time and time again that people from different backgrounds can come together and fix problems, which is great, peacefully.
In fact, it's quite interesting that the government are the most activist against the blockchain technology. You know, it's like a very important indicator of the very indicative of the scope and I don't know how to say in English, but it's the alcances serían como the borders. Yes, the borders can break this technology. That's my position.
That's a great way to put it. And these things are needed, right? I mean, you look around the world, we're in a critical situation in all kinds of things, economics, environment. And I'm not going to say this is the solution, but it's part of the solution. It's definitely part of the solution. It's part of the solution. We have a long way to go, and that's why we exist, because right now the problem is that normal people, it's very difficult for them to use blockchain technology at this moment, but we're trying to fix that. And we need all kinds of people. We need artists, we need designers, architects, engineers, everybody. Everybody has a place in this, especially, I would say, especially artists. Why? Because like the NFT revolution, you're involved in this. And what the NFTs have done is it allows normal people to access this technology in a way that they understand. Why? Because it's art. They're pictures, and that's, we're humans, and that makes sense to us. So it's kind of like in English they say a gateway drug, because you take this drug and then it leads to a bigger drug. But NFTs are the gateway drug for blockchain. So yes, it's very exciting. I love to see all people participate.
Thank you very much, Aaron. For us, Knox, it's very important to show all the people that blockchain technology is more than Bitcoin. No? Bitcoin is probably the more famous application or more, and I think it works okay in general. It's a bet. It's not easy, but it's very important that all the people now the blockchain have many applications. No. That are very democratic. For example, I know that you works in Ethereum platform, and I think it's the more extensive and the more important application of the blockchain in the world. No? I think the more value is Bitcoin, but the second was our Ethereum, but I think is the more programmers, I think, works in Ethereum. What is the reason that that Ethereum is the more? Because I know, or everybody knows, that the gas is very is no cheap. No, But what is the reason that the more of the people who took tokenize products or projects use Ethereum?
It's actually quite simple, I believe, because Bitcoin does a great job of storing value. So it's like gold. It's like gold in the old world.
It's number one, no?
It's number one, and it probably will, always be probably. But with Ethereum, it's a totally different thing. Ethereum is a computer. It's a world computer, decentralized. So to answer your question, it's just much easier to access and build things on Ethereum because Ethereum itself was built for that. That's its purpose. It's a global computer that allows people to create smart contracts that autonomously work. And this is very attractive for developers. We have developers right here in the audience, and you get developers from all over the world because it's very powerful. So Bitcoin has its place. It's a store of value, but Ethereum is the first global supercomputer that's distributed.
That's very good definition. Ethereum is a global computer. Yes, it's very different than Bitcoin. It's all the things. It's because Bitcoin is you could. I think it's not easy to use the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain to develop some smart contract. It's very complicated, no? And Ethereum is easy, no? It's
Absolutely, and that's because of the computer language called Solidity. It's very accessible, but
very accessible, exactly.
As you mentioned, there are problems. The gas prices.
The gas prices is a problem. No,
it's a big problem.
Yes, it's a big problem. No,
so this
for
is
us, this is the main problem because we start use Ethereum and we continue use Ethereum, but the gas, for example, especially for certain projects, he could use Ethereum for the price. But for the reason we use now Stellar blockchain, that is, but it's okay. The most important for us is that it's cheaper, no? The Ethereum.
Yes.
The Ethereum blockchain, no?
Yeah, Stellar is great for transactions.
Stellar is great.
It's very cheap. But here's the thing about blockchain is that if it doesn't work for you, somebody's building a better product right now. So with Ethereum, because of the gas prices were so high, developers said, well, we don't have to stay on Ethereum. Let's copy the code and create a better product. So you have, for instance, Cello, who is one of our sponsors. Cello, Phantom, Binance chain. These are all based on Ethereum in that they're called EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine. So the code is almost, you can just copy and paste it. But if you go to Binance Chain, to Cello, the transaction costs are very cheap. So they solved this problem, and it's a competition for who's going to develop on these different protocols. So that's why I was mentioning earlier, projects like yours are very valuable because they're a real world application for a blockchain. So they want you to develop on their blockchain. So they can incentivize you for that.
Very interesting. Okay, talk about very brief about our Cox. No, it's very our commercial about our project. We are now in a sustainable building, no, in Ayuntamiento. Iván, ¿nos puedes enseñar and we have now we need. Well, I would like to present my book. It's our sustainable economics, and as the theoretical basement from carbon bonds, and I think it's very interesting project that Alejandro and Ricardo develops in Nox, no?
Yes, well, in Nox we have the vision of a holistic vision regarding the renewable energy implementation projects. Here in this building, if you look up, these are solar panels. So they are generating clean energy, completely clean energy to supply this activity. So we can say that this activity is reducing the the footprint of carbon, the carbon footprint of now in this moment, in this very moment. And with that perspective, we make all our developments. We have several buildings with a reduction of the air emission pollutants. And we also have launched projects with capture carbon, basically focus in the environmental service that provides different ecosystems. So once we have the projects, now we are developing, well, it's also developed, the NCOX, that it's our cryptocurrency, tokenized of the carbon credits generated by those projects. Here in the page, lo bajas tantito, Iván, por favor. ¿Es una imagen? Ah, okay. In the web page, you can see the source of the carbon credits, the different sources of the carbon credits we have right now. And with that perspective, we are aimed to implement a holistic environmental project, not only to sell equipment, but to sell services regarding the architectural integration, carbon footprint, carbon footprint, and reduction of the air emissions to the environment. That's our project.
Thank you. Bueno, pues nada más como un resumencillo, como que para nosotros una de las razones de invitar a Aaron a esta plática es pues como enseñar a toda la gente que nos ha seguido y que sigue los proyectos de tokenización de PISC y de Nox, que blockchain es mucho más que Bitcoin, ¿no? Bitcoin es la parte más famosa, es una parte importante, pero Bitcoin es mucho más, digo, toda la tecnología blockchain puede aplicar eventualmente en casi todos los aspectos de la industria, de la sociedad y de la economía del mundo, ¿no? Entonces, para nosotros es muy importante invitar personas como Aaron a nuestros programas que nos platican pues, de aplicaciones y de todas las innovaciones que están haciendo en esta industria, ¿no? Y una de ellas es una que hemos desarrollado nosotros aquí en Pizca y en Ox, es el tema de los bonos de carbono. Me parece que puede ser una de las vías más eficientes para realmente crear un mercado real de bonos de carbono, ¿no? Desde hace más de 20 años ha habido iniciativas que no han funcionado justamente porque los costos de transacción son muy altos. Entonces, me parece que usando este tipo de tecnología puedes hacer pues que justamente un mercado que no ha funcionado y que sí es una solución verdadera para el problema del calentamiento global, pues empiece a trabajar, ¿no? Ok. Thank you. Stay with us, Aaron. It's a pleasure. This is your home. For us, very important that you come back again soon. And good luck in your Mexico City stance. No, it's very important. No, very important. And thank you very much, Aaron.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And buenas noches.
Gracias.
Thank you.